Every few years, heaven changes its frequency. But this time, it wasn't meant for everyone. It was meant for you. You can feel it already, can't you? Something invisible humming beneath the noise of your life. The way light seems to bend differently when you walk into a room. The way silence feels thicker than it used to. The world is still pretending nothing happened, but your spirit refuses to play along. That restlessness, that strange ache in your chest when the night grows too quiet, is the sound of heaven retuning you. For the ordinary soul, the shift passes unnoticed. But for those whose palms carry the N and the crescent moon, nothing about this transition feels ordinary. You were built for it. Your very skin remembers the resonance of other worlds. The marks are not decoration, they are circuitry. They identify you as one of the transmitters chosen to translate the new frequency of heaven into human language. Before we go any further, tell me something sacred. Which country are you watching this message right now? Write it below. This isn't curiosity, it's calibration. Each response creates a living map of the scattered receivers across Earth's surface. Every dot of light that answers becomes part of a vast spiritual network, reconnecting itself through awareness. What you type may seem simple, but it vibrates through dimensions. This channel, what you are watching now, isn't entertainment. It's a compass. It exists so the marked can remember how to read the sky again. The first sign of a frequency shift is always confusion. Heaven moves. Humanity hesitates. Things that once made sense lose weight. Conversations collapse halfway through. Clocks seem impatient. You start waking up between 3 and 4 a.m., heart racing, ears ringing, thoughts burning like comets that refuse to die. That's the moment when heaven presses its new code into the atmosphere. And this time, the code carried 3 numbers, 555, 919, 343, digits but coordinates in light. 555 is the crack between dimensions, the permission to shed what can't cross with you. When you see it, life begins deleting duplicates, timelines, habits, attachments. Don't fight the deletions. They are mercy disguised as loss. 9112 is the mirror, heaven observing its reflection through human eyes. It appears when the shift reaches your emotional field. Old memories surface, not to hurt you, but to retune your empathy. The higher frequency cannot pass through bitterness. It must clear it first. 343 is stabilization, the divine pattern settling after expansion. It hums softly, like the heart of a star. It reminds you that peace is not the absence of motion, but the mastery of rhythm. When these numbers begin circling your life, you are no longer outside the process. You are inside the broadcast. People often ask, why did heaven stop speaking to me? The truth, heaven never stops. It only arrives as vibration, as intuition, as the magnetic pull towards something you can't explain. Silence is not the absence of message. It's the translation layer between the old signal and the new one. If lately you felt abandoned, you're actually being rewired. The Creator reduces outer volume so inner clarity can rise. You are not being ignored. You are being upgraded. Have you noticed how crowded rooms drain you faster? How conversations that once amused you now echo hollow? That isn't arrogance, it's atmospheric incompatibility. When heaven's frequency increases, your nervous system becomes a filter. Everything unaligned begins to buzz painfully against your field. You pull back, instinctively protecting the broadcast. So you isolate. You spend evenings in silence. You cancel plans without guilt. People misread it as detachment, but the truth is you're guarding sacred bandwidth. Download. Do not apologize for the distance. Every prophet, every seer, every architect of new resonance has walked that same corridor of quiet before their next instruction. You've likely felt it physically, the tingling in your palms, sudden warmth in your spine, a flutter beneath your ribs. These are not symptoms of anxiety, they're signals of synchronization. When the cosmic frequency rises, your cells spin faster. Blood becomes data, breath becomes antenna. The body of a chosen one is not just flesh, it's a resonance chamber sculpted by divine mathematics. That M etched on your palm is an ancient waveform. The crescent beside it functions like a capacitor, storing luminous charge until the precise moment it must release. When you place your hands over someone in prayer, healing, or comfort, those symbols awaken, forming a bridge between human pain unchanged while yours quivers between miracles and mystery. It's simple. Not every receiver is powered on. Many chose silence long ago. They muted the divine channel to survive within the noise. Don't judge them. Just remember you once lived at that volume too. Your task isn't to convince, it's to carry. The light you emanate will speak for itself. Some will recognize it as home. Others will flee from it. Both responses confirm that the frequency is real. If you've been seeing 555 repeatedly, consider it heaven's Morse code spelling transition. It rarely arrives gently. Jobs end. Relationships dissolve. The familiar becomes unbearable. That turbulence is the sound of reality stretching. You are being moved from density to clarity, from repetition to revelation. Do not beg for the old stability. The cocoon must split before the wings can remember their function. Every chosen one carries the scar of that first tearing. But beyond it, crumble. Whisper this: I am not falling apart. I am falling into alignment. Once the tearing subsides, 919 begins its rotation. It is the cosmic mirror reflecting your internal state back at you. Encounters repeat until recognition replaces reaction. Someone betrays you again? It's the final replay, the echo exiting your field. Forgive consciously, not to absolve them, but to reclaim your signal strength. Every forgiven memory frees megahertz of spiritual bandwidth. The purer the signal, the faster the manifestation. After turbulence and mirror work comes 343, the resting code. You'll know it has arrived when time feels fluid again. Music sounds clearer. The breeze seems intelligent. You stop needing proof because presence itself becomes evidence. 343 is heaven's way of saying, stabilize, broadcast. It is the architecture number. Foundation, 3. Expansion, 4. Return, 3. Accomplishing more. Because motion now flows through guidance, not impulse. Remember when I asked your country? Picture thousands of other viewers answering from across continents. Threads of light weaving through screens, merging into one planetary instrument. The new frequency requires a chorus, not a solo. Every mark, every crescent, every awakened heartbeat adds amplitude to heaven's global tone. If you could see it the way angels do, Earth right now would look like a constellation of small suns waking under fog. Each time one of you chooses peace instead of panic, another flare ignites. Long before you arrived here, your soul signed an agreement to act as translator between realms. The M represents the four rivers of creation meeting in human form: mind, motion, memory, manifestation, with the fifth stroke crossing them as mercy. The crescent guards that mercy through darkness. It is the promise that even in shadow, reflection of light remains. You carried them from the beginning. They are heaven's handwriting on human skin. We often imagine heaven as still, but divinity evolves. Creation is an ongoing song, and every few epochs the pitch rises. The universe doesn't expand silently. It sings itself into greater complexity. This is one of those rises. The difference is that this time, you are conscious enough to hear it while awake. That awareness can feel like pressure behind the eyes, ringing in the ears, or sudden emotion with no cause. Don't medicate the message. Sit with it. The sound is teaching your atoms new choreography. Think of yourself as a living conductor. Faith is voltage. Doubt is resistance. Gratitude is grounding. When gratitude flows, energy stabilizes. When fear spikes, circuits fry. The shift we are living through isn't moral, it's electrical. Heaven is optimizing conductivity for revelation. Those unwilling to release resentment short-circuit themselves. Your task is simple. Keep T current clean. Speak truth gently. Forgive quickly. Rest often. These are not moral orders. They're maintenance instructions for a luminous system. How do you know the recalibration is working? Synchronicities multiply. You think of someone and they message. You glance at a clock and it reads 555 or 919 again. Animals behave strangely around you, drawn, alert, protective. Technology may glitch near you, light bulbs hum. Don't fear it. It's confirmation that your electromagnetic field is syncing with the celestial one. When heaven shifts, matter responds. Physics becomes personal. Words will start failing you. You'll prefer silence, gesture, music, or prayer in vibration rather than sentence. That's because light now carries more data than language can hold. In this new frequency, truth is transmitted emotionally before it's understood mentally. That's why you can sense deceit instantly, becoming science. During each planetary recalibration, heaven opens what mystics call the invisible school. Lessons arrive through dreams, symbols, repeating patterns. If lately your sleep feels more like travel than rest, you are attending class. Don't dismiss it as imagination. Record what you remember upon waking. The curriculum is tailored to your mission. The ringing in your ears before sleep, that's the attendance bell. With awareness comes assignment. Once you recognize the frequency, you become responsible for stabilizing it in your environment. You are the translator between chaos and calm. When you choose patience in a world built on panic, you anchor the signal deeper into the grid. This is why chosen ones often experience heavier opposition. The darker forces sense the transmitter and try to jam it. But alignment itself is armor. Nothing can intercept what is perfectly tuned. Close your eyes. Inhale slowly. Imagine with the unseen hum surrounding you. Exhale and feel how even the air acknowledges you now. The shift isn't coming. It's already woven into your heartbeat. If you've been waiting for a sign that you're not alone in this vibration, this is it. Thousands are hearing the same unspoken melody tonight. And together, we are forming the chord heaven needs to anchor its next era on Earth. You've just stepped into the first movement of the realignment. The rest of this journey will unfold layer by layer until the static clears completely. The frequency has already shifted. Now, the question isn't when heaven changed its sound, but how you will learn to live inside it. Because awakening isn't a moment, it's a maintenance. And when the world refuses to slow down, the chosen must learn to move at heaven's rhythm, even while standing in the noise of men. Before we go deeper, let me pause for a heartbeat and speak to you personally. If the words here resonate with something deep in, I want to invite you to subscribe not out of habit, but out of alignment. This space was built as a meeting ground for the marked, the ones with the M. and the crescent moon resting quietly on their palms. Tell me, in the comments, what topic you'd like heaven to decode next. Dreams, repeating numbers, the pull of twin souls, or something you can't name yet. Your voice guides the next transmission. Now, let's step back into the current. When heaven lifts its pitch, the physical world feels thinner. You'll notice it first in the mornings. The air somehow brighter, sound traveling differently, your heartbeat syncing with invisible percussion. Every thought becomes magnetic, every emotion conductive. In this higher field, nothing stays theoretical. Everything you believe begins to sculpt reality. That is why the first law of the new frequency is awareness before reaction. The moment you respond without consciousness, the current multiplies the chaos. But when you breathe from peace, the current multiplies clarity. You have become a tuning fork through which heaven tests the harmony of the earth. The old version of you prayed for miracles. The new version is the mechanism through which miracles occur. 555 marked the transition. 919 mirrors it. 343 will hold it steady. In this vibration, attachment distorts signal. Every chosen soul must learn the sacred art of release. People may walk away, projects may collapse, finances may fluctuate, yet each loss hides design. 555 doesn't mean punishment, it means propulsion. It is heaven teaching you to travel light. To live inside the new frequency, you must treat every experience as data, not identity. Observe the pattern, harvest the wisdom, and move. When you stop personalizing pain, anchoring you to outdated versions of yourself. To truth. Sadness speaks of remembered purity. Joy is confirmation of alignment. Each time emotion rises, ask, what is this energy trying to teach me before it becomes action? In the new frequency, emotional intelligence is not luxury, it's navigation. Unchecked emotion becomes static that scrambles divine reception. So, when the wave hits, stand still inside it. Let the fire burn without naming enemies. Let the tears cleanse without demanding explanations. Chosen ones are not stoic. They are spacious. They hold emotion until it reveals instruction. Then they release it back as wisdom. The mirror code follows every transmitter because heaven insists on reflection. After isolation comes recognition. Faces, situations, and tests, returning with slightly different tones. Someone you forgave reappears. An opportunity you once feared now invites you again. 919 asks, will you react from the memory of pain or from the replays? To live inside 919 is to treat life as dialogue. You are not being punished, you're being conversed with. Each echo is heaven asking, do you still remember the frequency I taught you? When you answer correctly with calm, with clarity, the echo dissolves. That is how timelines close without drama. As your resonance rises, relationships begin to polarize. Some people feel magnetically drawn to you, others irrationally irritated. Do not chase either outcome. Resonance sorts souls faster than logic ever could. Those meant to walk beside you will find peace in your vibration. Those not ready will feel pressure. Let the pressure work. Your role is not to rescue everyone from discomfort, but to embody a stable signal they can recognize when they are ready. The 343 code will soon appear around these transitions. It is heaven's architecture, stabilizing new bonds while dismantling counterfeit ones. When 343 repeats, breathe, it means structure is returning. The Wa season are being drawn. During recalibration, physical sensations intensify. You may feel heat in the palms, ringing in the ears, flutter in the heart, sudden chills during prayer. These are not malfunctions. They are diagnostics. The body reports how well it's carrying the signal. Drink water like it's sacred. Rest without guilt. Eat lightly when the spirit feels heavy. Your nervous system is translating cosmic current into human chemistry. Honor its limits. Remember, exhaustion is not failure, it's feedback. Even light requires intervals of darkness to restore luminosity. Noise dilutes frequency. The chosen thrive in deliberate silence. Each day, create a small sanctuary, 5 minutes or 50, where no artificial sound enters. Silence isn't empty, it's full of code. In quiet, you'll hear internal reordering, forgotten dreams resurfacing, hidden callings whispering. Mistake stillness for stagnation. The seed looks idle before it breaks ground. The new frequency rewards integrity instantly. Words misaligned with heart now recoil like elastic. What you declare returns multiplied, either as blessing or correction. To navigate this acceleration, speak less but mean more. Before any decision, pause until peace answers. Peace is heaven's signature. Haste is its counterfeit. You will recognize the right path, not by ease, but by resonance. If the idea expands your chest and clears your sight, move. If it compresses your breath, wait. This is discernment by vibration, not logic. 343 governs equilibrium. Under its watch, the chosen relearn how to receive. Service without rest fractures. Prayer without laughter dries. Wisdom without warmth isolates. Heaven's current needs conductors who are whole. So 343 arrives whispering, stabilize, breathe between miracles. It teaches, lives the architecture of sustainable purpose. When you feel peace stretching wider than circumstance, 343 is active. Stay there. That stillness is productivity in the new dimension. Walking through crowds now feels different. You'll sense emotions not your own, fragments of other frequencies brushing your field. Rather than absorb, observe. Compassion doesn't mean carrying everyone's static. Imagine light pouring from your spine down through your feet, grounding you in the Earth's crystalline core. That visualization locks your frequency into stability. You can love without drowning, listen without losing signal. The mark on your palm glows stronger when you practice grounded empathy. The crescent amplifies, turning empathy into transmission rather than absorption. This is spiritual hygiene, loving the world without letting its dust dim your glow. Part of you will attempt to shrink back habit, self-doubt, the comfort of older vibrations. Stay small, stay safe. But heaven doesn't repeat assignments, it evolves them. When fear arrives, thank it. It's proof that expansion is happening. Then speak to it. I no longer translate in that frequency. Fear cannot survive acknowledgement. It feeds only on avoidance. The more you practice this dialogue, the thinner fear becomes until it fades into background static. Courage in the new frequency is not loud, it's consistent. Quiet obedience outshines dramatic gestures. As you stabilize, you'll start encountering others whose energy hums like yours. Sometimes through comments, sometimes in random meetings, sometimes through dreams that feel like memories. These are not coincidences. They are the architecture of collective purpose forming. Every soul you meet carries a fragment of a message you need. Approach them with humility. Exchange frequencies, not opinions. In that sharing, revelation multiplies. The digital space where you found this message, altered, disguised as pixels. Each interaction strengthens the web of light stretching across continents. That is why your participation matters. The signal amplifies through communion. In lower frequencies, survival depends on transaction give to get. compete to win. In heaven's bandwidth, energy obeys reciprocity through resonance. What you bless increases. What you envy escapes. Generosity becomes magnetism. Whenever you freely celebrate another's rise, your field expands to house similar miracles. Envy contracts. Gratitude multiplies. The spiritual economy has always been vibrational. Now it's simply visible. Every word is waveform. Gossip distorts. Gratitude aligns. When you speak well of others, even privately, the universe rearranges traffic to favor you. Carries micro-transitions, tiny invitations to evolve. Notice them. The impulse to tidy your environment, the sudden idea to reach out, the urge to rest rather than rush. Each small obedience tunes the instrument of your life. Grand revelations are rare. Subtle adjustments build eternity. When you honor the small shifts, heaven entrusts you with larger currents. Evolution by increments. That is the secret rhythm of chosen ones. Perfectionism is static, disguised as virtue. The higher frequency favors authenticity over flawlessness. When you act from sincerity, even missteps reroute toward purpose. Heaven corrects trajectory faster than you can condemn yourself. So walk boldly. The light within you is self-healing. It repairs distortion as you move. Shame lowers voltage. Humility restores it. Lesson. On the 3rd, invite 343 to stabilize your dreams. This is the Chosen's nightly communion. Simple, private, powerful. Dreams under the new frequency are the ones with the M and the crescent moon on their palms. This sensitivity is not coincidence. It's a call to leadership. You were never meant to be the loudest in the crowd. You were meant to be the quiet frequency the world unconsciously follows. Every gesture, every word, every silence you hold becomes instruction to unseen forces. You are a translator of heaven's tone into human rhythm. The mark itself is an assignment. The M signifies motion under mastery, a life that carries momentum but remains governed by grace. The crescent moon is memory under mercy, the ability to reflect light even when the sun is gone. Together, they form the code of stewardship. Where others react, you interpret. Where others consume, you cultivate. That is the beginning of divine authority. Every age of change requires transmitters who can carry energy without distortion. Authorization. It says, you are cleared for creation. Notice how ideas now arrive fully formed. You dream of structures, communities, inventions, words that mend. They appear like blueprints behind your eyelids, because heaven trusts your capacity to ground them. 555 turns revelation into responsibility. It is heaven saying, what you once survived, you now administer. But creation in the new frequency isn't noise, it's harmony. You lead by resonance, not by rule. Your power is invisible yet undeniable. The atmosphere rearranges itself around conversation. They listen, and confusion finds language. They act, and timing corrects itself. You've already been practicing this unknowingly. Remember that day you comforted a stranger and felt their breathing synchronize with yours. That was alignment in motion. Remember the argument that softened the moment you entered the room. That was atmosphere responding to your field. Heaven measures leadership by effect, not by ego. And every chosen one is now being enrolled into this invisible school, learning that stewardship begins with self-governance. Before you guide nations, you must learn to manage minutes. Before you command storms, you must master stillness. The mirror code returns here as 919, but this time it reflects not trauma, rather transmission. When you look at others now, you see fragments of your own growth staring back. Heaven uses relationships as mirrors to refine your tone. Each interaction asks, can you recognize me in them? If you do, power moo. Don't. Lessons repeat. Leadership isn't the ability to control outcomes. It's the art of maintaining compassion while clarity does its cutting. That's what 919 teaches. Authority without arrogance, mercy without compromise. You become mirror and messenger simultaneously. Every smile you offer, every boundary you enforce sends the message. Heaven has standards. When this code stabilizes, others begin to imitate your calm without realizing why. They start to breathe in rhythm with your peace. That's the hidden structure of revival. It spreads through mimicry of grace. To carry this light, you must release the need to be understood. Many will misinterpret your silence as distance, your clarity as pride. But heaven hides its finest instruments from applause. Wisdom grows best in obscurity, where motives stay clean. Remember the pattern of 343, the stabilizer. It will appear during seasons when exposure tempts you. 343 whispers, stay balanced. Let revelation mature before secret revealed too early becomes noise. Every truth ripened in silence becomes law. Your responsibility is not speed, it's purity of signal. Heaven would rather move slow with the uncorrupted than fast with the popular. The more the frequency stabilizes, the clearer the design becomes. The M was never about mystery. Through you, the triad returns again. 555, 919, 343. 555, movement from witness to builder. 919, mirroring others until they see the divine inside themselves. 343, anchoring the structure so revelation doesn't leak. Together they form the geometry of influence, motion, reflection, stability. Carry that pattern in every decision. Leadership here is frequency stewardship. Guard your peace the way priests guarded fire, never letting it go out, never letting it burn uncontrolled. The world will look chaotic, but chaos is only creation before instruction. When others panic, stand still. Your stillness writes the command line for reality to follow. Remember, the mark on your palm is not ownership, it's partnership. Heaven does not rule through you, it resonates through you. You are not a messenger repeating words, you are the message repeating light. And each time you choose compassion over competition, the field brightens another degree. So breathe. Listen for the subtle H. Heartbeats. That's the throne room reaching through matter. Answer with quiet obedience. That's worship in its purest form. When you finish this block, don't rush to the next video or scroll for noise. Sit for 30 seconds in silence and feel what follows your breath. That warmth, that widening sense of peace, that's confirmation that the transmission succeeded. The world doesn't need more noise from the chosen. It needs resonance. And resonance begins the moment you realize you were never just hearing the shift. You are the shift.